Kusoma ni sawa, read more books, kupata maarifa ya manufaa, kupata maarifa ya manufaa. Read more books.
They say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And after reading this book, Rise Above Your Past, we set out on a journey to the feet of Aberdare Ranges in Kinango. And after a long journey that has had its own challenges, and despite the cold, chilly weather here, we are finally at Baba Mushiri's home, where we are going to find the author of the book, Rise Above Your Past, who is Ann Mburu, and I'm sure she's ready and she's waiting for us. So join me as we go to meet her.
Ann Mburu. I am the author of this inspiring book called Rise Above Your Past. I work with a company called Buffet Africa Inspiration Networks. In Buffet Africa Inspiration Networks, we write inspirational books, and besides the books, we also deal with student training. And besides empowerment, we also do trainings for parents. We attend AGMs. We've been to many schools in this country. In an era where there are so many people out there who will tell you the wrong things about you, we want to tell you the right things about you. And that is why I wrote this book, to encourage you that no matter how bad your past has been, you can always rise above that past. I have shared the story of my mother, who is the greatest motivation behind the writing of the book. She always believed in us, even when we were growing up. When there was no hope, she was there to instill hope in us, as blind as she has been. Feel welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And how beautiful it is to get into a family and be given a warm welcome.
Kupata maarifa ya manufaa, kupata maarifa ya manufaa. Read more books.
We say that we are inspired to write. Yet, how do we get inspired? This question remains unprecedented by many who have gone through different experiences and scenarios to come up with what they write. Today I'm joined by Ann Mburu, the author of this book, Rise Above Your Past, who has written about turning your past pain into your future gains. Karibu sana, Ann.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you should be saying karibu sana because I came into your home. Thank you very much for having us here. It is cold, but the fresh air nayo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels so good.
And I'm actually so glad that you decided to come and interview me in my village, It feels good.
Tell us, how comes you sat down and wrote this book?
I thought, why not write this book to encourage somebody? Why not write this book to tell somebody who has gone through quite a lot in life? And at some point, I think they're the only ones who've been through such. Sometimes we see people looking very good in their nice clothes and walking in the streets, and we think, oh, they're doing so well. But it is only that they have not had an opportunity to tell their stories.
At the cover of this book, there is a bird that looks like it's soaring so high, and the title, Rise Above Your Past. That tells me there's so much that is in your past. Tell us more about that.
Exactly. Let me begin by saying that I was born in a family of 13 children, but currently we are only remaining 9 of us, and we thank God for this far. We grew up in what we call abject poverty. And anytime I talk about poverty, it only reminds me of the many times we went without food, the many times we went without clothes at some point, the many times we had to be sent home for school fees, which my parents could not afford. And all this again was precipitated by our mother losing her sight. Sometimes we don't even want to talk about it, but my mentor once told me that when you're able to tell your story without tears in your eyes, then it means you have overcome your past. The reason why I call this book Rise Above Your Past is because I went through life knowing that people who have come from backgrounds like myself cannot make it in life, cannot become anything in life. And so when I was in school, I grew up with very low and poor self-esteem because I thought every other person came from a better family except myself. I can, tell this story to you today, but it will just end at you. But if I write a book, even when I am long gone, this book will remain behind.
Yeah, they say that books outgrow the generation of the writer.
Exactly.
Now, when you get deep into this book, there are things that were so clear as I read it.
Yeah.
And number one was you were very bitter with your parents.
Yes.
And out there, I believe, there are people who are really bitter with what they went through and they thought it was their parents' fault. And therefore, till to this moment, they are still bitter and they cannot see the future because of that pain.
It dawned on me that life is not what I always thought it was when I went to high school. I have suddenly found myself in a new environment where every other girl I was in a girls' school, every other girl is looking much prettier and beautiful and coming from seemingly good families and their parents looking good, especially during the visiting days. You look at people and you begin wondering, oh no, I think there's something my parents did not do. And so I am going through life thinking, these parents, there's something they were supposed to have done that they did not do. And I tell myself, no, why didn't they do what they were supposed to do? What I did not know is there is no parent who is able and can afford to give their children a good life and a good future and fail to do that. And if there's any parent who is like that, then I think they're doing a lot of injustice to their children and even to God, because that is a responsibility. And so I had to go through life, hating myself, hating my background, at some point hating God himself, because I thought he created some of us to just be poor, Days when you're going through life comparing yourself with other people, it is one of the worst things that can happen to you. Because yours is observation. And what are you observing? The wrong things. The things that are going to kill your morale. The things that are going to demean you the more. Because when I look at you and I see you can afford a nice dress and I cannot afford, I begin judging myself, judging my background, judging everybody in my family. Why don't I have this? Which is not good. And I think that was just one area of my life that I grew up with, and it brought a lot of bitterness. But with time, I thank God that we grow up, and not just growing up physically, you also grow up intellectually, spiritually. Then you get to know these parents did what they could have done by then.
If I can take you back, at some point you're so bitter with your mother and you tell her, why couldn't you just have 6 kids so that I may not be the 7th one? But again, the same mother in your book, she has been of great, great help.
Yes. We have grown up digging in people's farms to get food. And, you had to go for this, we call them vibarua. You go work in somebody's farm and then you can be given some food stuff at the end of the day. And then one time, we went to this particular place. It was just me and my mom. The piece of land where we were supposed to dig was so hard. It was such a hard ground. So here you are with your djembe, you're trying to, dig, and the djembe bounces back on your face and you're seemingly doing nothing. And don't forget, we had not eaten the previous night.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. We had not eaten. So we are doing this on an empty stomach.
So you are hungry and angry at the
I am hungry and ugly, and I am hungry, ugly. It makes me, And so I thought, if she could have given birth to just 6 children and leave the rest of us alone, we could not be suffering like this. But you see, now that was the mentality then. My mom told me, I am glad that I gave birth to many children. Because one day you will leave this home and go begin doing your things out there. I will need somebody to hold my hand around here when I need help. And I think that really challenged me. And I think that that was the beginning of my turnaround and beginning to see things, you know, from a different perspective.
Before we go for a break, there's this question I love asking others, because I'm sure you've met people who have asked you, why have you written about a topic that is obvious? I mean, why expose so much about yourself and your family? Do you ever get critics?
Daisy, you will never miss such kind of people. They are always there. But can I tell you something? The movers and shakers of this world are people who have shared their stories with people. And let me tell you something else that is interesting. I believe there is nothing private in this world. Why do I believe so? When we were sleeping hungry and walking naked and being sent away from school and digging in people's farms, were there not people seeing us going through that? They were there. Meaning, just like the Bible says, we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. What I am talking about, there's somebody somewhere who is watching, who agrees with what I am saying. There's somebody who knows that we worked in their farms and they can say it is true. So it is not really exposing myself. It is telling somebody that where you are coming from does not determine where you are going. We did not have a piece of shamba then when we were growing up, but today you're interviewing me in my father's piece of land. We did not have clothes to wear then. We went to bed hungry, but today we are eating. What has changed? A lot of things has changed, including growing up, changing our mindset and the way we look at things. And I believe growth is very important. So it's not really about exposing myself. Critics are there, but let me tell you, there's nothing you will ever hide.
You just said it all. We are taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more of this. And by the way, we'll be meeting Ann's mother, who is blind but determined, who changed the life of Ann and the family, and she inspired the writing of this book. So stay tuned. They are inspiring and motivating. They are inexhaustible and adventurous. They are time-tested and diverse. They educate and inform. They entertain. They are books.
Kupata maarifa ya manufaa, kupata maarifa ya manufaa. Read my books.
Welcome back. Here I'm seated with Mama Ann, and Ann is the author of the book Rise Above Your Past. And this great woman here, she is the inspiration of the writing of this book. Karibu sana Mama Ann.
Asante.
Ikawa vipi hauoni tena?
Nikaenda kupasua kuni. Alafu baada ya kupasua kuni ikagonga hili jicho. Sasa kutoka siku hiyo ikaja ikapotea kabisa.
Na katika hiki kitabu inaonekana kwamba huu unafanya kazi zote peke yako.
Ninafanya.
Unawezaje kufanya kazi?
Ninaweza kwa sababu mimi nikisema ni kipofu na bado watoto wetu ni wadogo, sasa itakuwa bara. Kwa hivyo mimi nikatumia zawadi yangu kutoka biguni. Nikaanza kujaribu kufanya kazi dogo na mimi ninaona Mungu kwa sababu tangu nipatie macho nimewalea.
Na Anna ameandika katika hiki kitabu ya kwamba ulikataa kwenda pale barabarani kuomba mapeni ama pesa.
Kwa sababu hiyo mambo ya kuomba na sio kuwa ati mimi ni wasimu ndio ataweza kuomba kwa sababu yeye anakosa kujiweza. Ile watoto yangu Mungu amenipea na mzee wangu wananitosha kunisaidia.
Na wakati mmoja ukafika hauko unajikubali, ukaanza kunywa pombe na mahali kidogo wakakupeleka Mathare.
Wamenipeleka ni kwa sababu siku hiyo mimi sikuwa najua uokofu ni kusema nini. Na sikuwa ninajua kuna Mungu biguni. Bwana asifiwe. Sasa nami wakati niliokoka nikajua siri ya biguni, hapo nikaanza kujijua mimi mwenyewe. Na hiyo pombe nikawacha kabisa na mpaka wakati huu. Yeah.
Tumefurahi sana kuwa nawe na kusikia kutoka kwako. Yeah. Kuna watu ambao wanatamani sana kununua hiki kitabu ambacho Anna ameandika. Unaweza waambia aje?
Mimi nitawashukuru na mimi ninasema kwa hao wenye wananunua wasione tu kitabu lakini bali wajue kuna Mungu biguni. ambaye hata ukipotea macho au ufujike miguu au ufujike mikono, Mungu ako anatusaidia.
As I said earlier, she is the inspiration behind the writing of the book, Rise Above Your Past. And by the way, I'm seated on this interesting seat. I'm being told inaitwa kiti ya moto. We'll be right back.
Kupata maarifa ya manufaa, kupata maarifa ya manufaa. Read my books.